So when it comes to the Oscars, have you ever wondered, what if? What if this person had won instead of that person? What if, instead of this person losing time and time again, they had actually won earlier in their career? This is a video I have never made before, and we're gonna have a lot of fun. Here is my list of the top 10 what if Oscar scenarios. Number 10, what if Glenn Close did win an Oscar at some point? Going back to 1988, the year of The Accused, and Jodie Foster's first Best Actress Oscar win for that movie. What if Glenn Close had won that for Dangerous Liaisons? That was her 5th nomination without a victory. She is still, of course, never won an Academy Award to this day after 8 nominations. But what if she won Best Actress for Dangerous Liaisons, cut to 3 years later, and Jodie Foster wins her Academy Award in Best Actress for The Silence of the Lambs? So Jodie has won, Glenn has won, and we are all very happy. Number 9, what if Bradley Cooper had won an Oscar? Bradley Cooper has received a ton of Oscar nominations in the last decade plus, like more than 10 now, right? His first nomination was in early 2013 for Silver Linings Playbook. He was never going to win that over Daniel Day-Lewis for Lincoln. But there was a moment we could have given Cooper a Best Actor Oscar win, and he would have been victorious over what many people believe is one of the worst Oscar wins of certainly the last 20 to 30 years. What if Bradley Cooper had won the Best Actor Academy Award for A Star Is Born, and Rami Malek had gone home empty-handed that night, like having won pretty much everything all season, but he didn't get the Oscar trophy? I don't think too many people would be sad about that today. And also, we wouldn't have had to go through that awkward season of Bradley Cooper clearly in pursuit of an Oscar win for Maestro. Number 8, what if Bette Davis or Gloria Swanson had won? I've said before, I'm not a big fan of that Best Actress Oscar win for Judy Holliday in Born Yesterday. It doesn't sit well with me. I think there are 2 much better performances in that category. What if Bette Davis had won for All About Eve? She would have been the first person ever to win 3 Oscars in Best Actress. Would have been fantastic. But even better, I'd say, is what if Gloria Swanson had won Best Actress that year for Sunset Boulevard? I think that is the best performance ever committed to film in the history of cinema. So yeah, that would have been a great victory too. Number 7, what if Annette Bening had won an Oscar? Annette Bening has received 5 Oscar nominations to date, and there was one time she got very, very close to winning. That was in 1999 for American Beauty. She won at SAG, she won at BAFTA. American Beauty at the Academy Awards won Best Picture, Best Director, Best Actor for Kevin Spacey, Best Original Screenplay. She almost won Best Actress that year at the Oscars, but ultimately she lost to Hilary Swank for Boys Don't Cry, another great performance from that year. What if Annette Bening had won the Best Actress Academy Award for American Beauty, cut to 5 years later, and Hilary Swank still wins an Academy Award for Million Dollar Baby in Best Actress? Both Annette and Hilary have an Oscar. Again, this would have been the better outcome. Number 6, what if Paul Newman had won for a different movie? So I think most people are happy that the great Paul Newman did win an Academy Award at some point in his long career. It happened in 1986 for The Color of Money. Newman is fine in that movie, but I think his Oscar victory should have been 4 years prior for The Verdict. His performance in The Verdict is outstanding on every level, and he was there that night to accept the trophy, whereas when he actually won for The Color of Money, he's not there, he doesn't give a speech. So what if Paul Newman had won the Best Actor Academy Award for The Verdict 4 years later, Best Actor doesn't go to Newman, but instead it goes to Bob Hoskins for Mona Lisa. That would have been a really cool win. And don't feel bad for Ben Kingsley, who in this scenario has lost for Gandhi. In 2001, he has the overdue narrative to finally win his Oscar in Best Supporting Actor for Sexy Beast. Number 5, what if Nicole Kidman won for a different movie? So I don't know about you, but I very much adore Nicole Kidman's Best Actress Oscar win for The Hours. The problem is, she had to win over Renee Zellweger in Chicago. I feel like if Zellweger had won an Oscar earlier in her career, it should not have been for Cold Mountain. It should have been for Chicago. So, what if Nicole Kidman had won Best Actress the year before for Moulin Rouge, and then Renee Zellweger won Best Actress for Chicago, and then the next year in Best Supporting Actress, instead of Zellweger winning for that not very good performance in Cold Mountain, the award goes instead to Sheree Agdashlu for House of Sand and Fog. That would have been the better 3 victories, I think, than what we ultimately got. Number 4, what if Al Pacino had won for a different movie? I have talked about this on the channel a lot. I don't much care for Al Pacino's Best Actor Academy Award for Scent of a Woman. Like, he's solid in that. He's not giving a bad performance, but I just feel like if Al Pacino was going to win one Oscar in his long career, it shouldn't have been for Scent of a Woman. It should have been for one of his many amazing performances in the 1970s, namely The Godfather Part 2. So, what if Al Pacino had won the Best Actor Academy Award for The Godfather Part 2 over Art Carney in Harry and Tonto, and then 18 years later, there's no overdue narrative for Pacino, and instead of him winning that Oscar for Scent of a Woman, the Best Actor prize instead goes to Denzel Washington for Malcolm X. That would have been the better victory that year. And then, moving into the early 2000s, he doesn't win for Training Day. Instead, Russell Crowe wins back-to-back Oscars a la Tom Hanks for Gladiator and A Beautiful Mind. Number 3, what if Elizabeth Taylor had won her first Oscar for a different movie? Another really bad win in the history of the Academy Awards is that Best Actress victory for Elizabeth Taylor in Butterfield 8. That movie is pretty trashy. She is okay in it, but an Oscar win for Best Actress? No. She won that because she had been nominated the last few years over and over in Best Actress, and she had almost died, so there was sympathy in terms of giving her the trophy. What if Elizabeth Taylor had instead won her first Best Actress Oscar 2 years prior for Cat on a Hot Tin Roof? That means for 1960, it doesn't go to Taylor, and instead, Shirley MacLaine wins her first Academy Award in Best Actress for The Apartment. That would have been so well deserved, and who knows, maybe that would have meant 23 years later, instead of MacLaine winning Best Actress for Terms of Endearment, that prize instead would have gone to her co-star, Deborah Winger. Number 2, what if Jack Nicholson had won his third Oscar for a different movie? So speaking of Terms of Endearment, I'm very much happy with Nicholson's Oscar win for that film in Best Supporting Actor. I also absolutely adore his first Oscar win in Best Actor for One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. I would not want to change those 2 victories at all, but I'm not a huge fan of As Good as It Gets, and I don't think Nicholson necessarily had to win an Oscar for that movie. So what if in 1997, the Best Actor Academy Award had instead gone to Peter Fonda for Yuli's Gold? That would have given Peter Fonda an Oscar win at some point in his long career. Nicholson wouldn't have been broken up about it. And then 5 years later, instead of Adrien Brody winning Best Actor at the Oscars for The Pianist, that prize instead goes to Jack Nicholson for About Schmidt. He still gets to win 3 Oscars in his long career, and Adrien Brody wouldn't be crying about it. I mean, The Brutalist, hello. And finally, my number 1 choice, what if Meryl Streep had won her third Oscar for a different movie? I have said it before, I'll say it again, I don't very much care for Meryl Streep's Oscar win for The Iron Lady. Like, she's very good in it, it's a very solid performance as Margaret Thatcher, I just don't care for that movie at all. There were so many better films she could have won her third gold trophy for, like Adaptation, like The Devil Wears Prada, like Julie and Julia. But what if Meryl Streep's third Academy Award win had happened in the Best Actress category for Doubts? Like, what if she had won for Doubts? She got close. She won the SAG Award for Best Actress. Like, she was in the running. She had an overdue narrative that season in a way, given that she hadn't won an Oscar trophy since the early 1980s. Think about this. What if Meryl Streep had won the Oscar for Doubt? 3 years later, Viola Davis wins the Oscar for The Help. 5 years after that, Michelle Williams wins Best Supporting Actress for Manchester by the Sea. And I know what you're thinking, what about Kate Winslet? Are we really going to let her never win an Oscar trophy in her long career? Of course not. In 2015, because Winslet now has the overdue narrative, she wins in Best Supporting Actress for Steve Jobs, deservedly so, I would say, over Alicia Vikander for The Danish Girl. Oh boy, that would have been so freaking amazing when it comes to Streep and Davis and Williams and Winslet. Wow, you know, sometimes it is kind of fun to ask the question, what if? Thanks so much for watching and subscribing, and let me know in the comments below what are some of your what if Oscar scenarios, and I'll see you next time at the Awards Contender.